The president said last night the New York Times reporting is completely false. So what is true? Brian, how much did the president pay in federal income tax in 2016 and 2017?
Well, Poppy, both the president and his attorney have disputed it, saying he's paid millions of dollars in taxes. I saw an earlier report from today that from 05 to 07, he paid $70 million in taxes. So quite a lot. He's donated his presidential salary, which for his term would be $1.5 million in taxes that he didn't even have to pay. But the New York Times has reported basically the same thing 4 years ago on the eve of a debate. The Democrats had ads up and running within minutes of this coming out, which means it's probably a coordinated political smear. But the president has paid lots of taxes. But the point is that why would anybody pay more than they owe? He wants everybody to have low taxes. That's why he cut taxes. But an interesting question would be, where are the taxes that Hunter Biden paid on his $3.5 million from Russia?
So much
what about his $1 billion from Moscow?
Brian, I'm so glad we have you, and we got lots of time, so we don't have to talk over each other. But you speak for the president, so we're going to stick on that topic. I'm talking about federal income taxes, and in the absence of the president releasing them, which is unprecedented for modern presidents, I'm going to go with the New York Times reporting because there's no reason not to believe it. Okay, so going with their detailed reporting that is very different. I'm just going to finish the question. It's very different than 4 years ago. This is new reporting. In the absence of that, what is true? How much federal income tax did the president pay in 2016 and 2017? That's all I'm looking for is a number.
The president's attorney stated it was millions of dollars in taxes, but he didn't even have a chance to review. He didn't even have a chance to review the documents that the New York Times is basing it on.
The president's tax attorney has the president's
political smear from 4 years ago.
The president's tax attorney has
but they're
his federal
reporting
records
based on what they have, and they wouldn't share it. So how can you dispute something they wouldn't share? It's the president's private documents.
Here's why it matters. Because federal income taxes pay for things like the military that the president has said he so strongly supports. It pays the salary of Secret Service members that secure him every single day. It pays for roads, bridges, I could go on. And the average American in 2017, Brian, paid $12,199 in federal income taxes. Why does the president believe that he owes 16 times less?
The president and his attorney have stated he paid millions of dollars in taxes.
They have not stated. And I'm talking about federal income taxes.
You are very
right. You worked
taxes
with folks from the Treasury. You know there's a difference.
So are you, Poppy, and that's why you should be asking. Where is where are the taxes on Hunter's $3.5 million from Russia? Where are the taxes on his $1 billion from China? The president's paid tens of millions of dollars in taxes. The
president's spokesman about someone who is not germane to this conversation, who is not running for president.
Have you ever asked them? Have you ever done a segment on them?
Brian, please do our viewers the service of answering my questions about the man you work for, because I asked the questions. And I'm glad you're here, and I'm going to keep asking them. In 2017, Brian, in 2017, according to all of these documents, it appears the president paid more in taxes to Panama, India, and the Philippines than he did to Uncle Sam. How is that America first?
Poppy, the documents the New York Times used, they wouldn't even show them to anybody so that they could be verified or disputed. The president's attorney stated he's paid tens of millions of dollars in taxes. We know this. We know that he donates his salary to the government even when he doesn't even have to. That's $1.5 million in taxes he didn't even have to pay. But this is a story it's another version of it from 4 years ago on the eve of a debate, coordinated with the Democrats as a political hit.
Okay, Brian, I'm just going to stop you there. These are remarkable reporters from the New York Times who went through 20 years of documents. It is not okay for you to accuse them with no facts of coordinating with the Democratic Party.
Poppy,
Please stop doing that or this interview will end.
They had ads
Brian,
up and
stop
running.
attacking the press. I have not seen you do that largely before. Stop doing that. I'm asking you direct questions. You could put the entire thing to bed if the president would release the records and show the American people what he says is true. Why will he not do that?
So the press can attack him, but he can't defend himself. That is just not a fair position to take.
The president is welcome to come on this show and defend himself. I hope he joins us. The easiest defense would be for him to lay out his records as every modern president has done since the 1970s.
So that was 5 minutes of absolute obliteration by CNN's Poppy Harlow to Trump's spokesman, White House spokesman, Brian Morgenstern, who was basically refusing to directly answer the questions as related to the New York Times reporting yesterday that in 2016 and in 2017, Donald Trump only paid $750 in federal income taxes. And he tries to do everything. He tries to tie it to Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, and apparently he has tax issues. And he tries to suggest that this is fake news. He tries to suggest that this is rehashed reporting. He tries to suggest so many things, but what was most dangerous there, and this is what Poppy Harlow basically talked about, was that he's basically impugning the motives and character of the people that did this very factual-based journalism. This wasn't an opinion piece. This wasn't a column. This was detailed journalism based on years of painstaking reporting, going through thousands of documents, maybe more, to piece together this factual information about what Donald Trump has and has not paid in taxes. And what Trump and his team are trying to do is in effect say this is a collaborative effort between the New York Times and the Democratic Party, and that in essence the New York Times is creating direct, provable fiction to help the Democratic Party defeat Donald Trump without a shred of evidence to make that claim. The New York Times has produced their piece. Donald Trump can respond with his own evidence. But to suggest that this was some sort of dual effort where Joe Biden and his campaign were writing this article for the New York Times so that they could produce an ad that came out shortly after the piece was released is absurd. And I'm glad to see the media stick up for itself. Look, as a Bernie supporter, somebody who supported Bernie in the primaries, I'm no, cheerleader for mainstream media. I'm not. But the fact of the matter is, the way Donald Trump has treated the media and talked about the media is unfair. And he has basically called them liars and frauds and criminals. And he's basically tapped into this energy among his supporters that the press are the enemy of the people. And I don't think that's fair, especially in reporting like this. And so the media has to be very clear that attacking the press is not appropriate. For a president that's already come out and said he wants to quote unquote get rid of the ballots, this is inappropriate. 100%. Good for Poppy Harlow for keeping the pressure on this particular line of questioning and not tolerating the targeting of her colleagues in the media when Trump and his team basically try to call them traitors to the American people or lackeys to the Democratic Party, even though they work for a different media outlet. The media needs to be clear here. You can disagree with us, and we might not always get it right, but to suggest that we're some sort of puppet against the people is anti-democratic.